So it's about two after. So let's go ahead, I guess, and slide right into it. And then, so we'll go ahead and we'll kick it off first with an introduction of Zeus, so you guys can meet him and get acquainted. I know that he's been in the chat and he's been working with people in there to answer questions as much as possible, as well as just kind of getting familiar and acquainted with some of you, especially those that are, that hang out in the community the most. So, Zeus, I'll go ahead and give you a chance to pipe up and say hello and get to know
All
people.
right, all right. Thank you so much, Matt. And yeah, hilarious what happened last week. I had just gotten a new laptop and a new screen, and then in working with Herms, apparently I had my audio set to my screen app. Help all of you succeed and be successful. Obviously, we're all here for one reason, and that's to grow our investment, right? This is a way that brings all of us together from all over the globe, and we align around community and have fun in the process. But everyone's here to make money. So we're never going to stop fighting for you and finding ways to create opportunity, to create excitement. And then in the background, how do we align all of that and send it in the right direction to help us reach our goals? Looking forward to creative ways that we can synergize together and bring all that into the bigger picture. So it's
Cool.
going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, definitely love the energy, Zeus. Thank you. And having you as an asset in the community is, it really helps me as well, kind of balance the load. And I think that we'll see the outputs of that be that the needle starts getting moved in the direction that I think that a lot of people want to see, it get moved. So appreciate you being here and helping support this amazing community. And so we will keep moving that forward. So let's first just jump into doing just some general updates. Uh, I apologize about last week about not really timely getting responses to those written questions. I'd gotten into it a number of different times, but then just kept getting pulled away. I did write out some of them. I just don't know if I gave Herms enough time to really translate that out to the community. There was, I think, quite a bit of questions that had already been asked and responded to, but maybe had just been worded in a slightly different way. And so a lot of those questions, I just was going to defer back to previously answered, to the previous answer on that question, because in a lot of ways, the answer still has not changed. So I'll try to give maybe just some high level updates right now before we open it up to some questions. Again, going to attempt to keep this around, as close to the 30-minute mark as possible, especially since we have these on a weekly basis. But I don't think that we've been successful in that too often. So, but we'll definitely aim to do that. So, in terms of game development, we've had some progress, albeit kind of slow especially over the last couple of weeks. A couple of devs have been out, with some time off that had been planned, many weeks, many weeks in advance. So obviously, whenever key team members are out, things slow down. That doesn't mean that things have stopped, but just things have slowed down. That I did not anticipate that would result in the devlog process not getting started, but that ultimately seems to be what the case was. So we are still obviously intending on providing some transparent devlogs for the community. And I've offered to the dev team to essentially just kind of transcribe those as I see them. Although I think that inherently that really probably would mean more coming from the devs themselves. Because I'm not a developer, I have been getting better at speaking that language. But at my core, I'm not a developer, so I would hate to do something or say something that was inaccurate. So ultimately, I would really like that function to fall on the developers, but I also can relate to the somewhat sense of urgency at times that the community feels in terms of being able to see those devlogs. So with that being said, I do anticipate in the next week or so that once everybody returns and everybody's back at full capacity, that commitment will be filled. In terms of a date for season 2, we're still leaving that as to be determined. With that being said, I'm 100% confident in being able to reach that milestone as it's laid out in the roadmap. But my reluctance to give a date for launch is mostly just attributed to past experiences. And that goes both ways. Like saying a specific date and then moving it. My inclination is to, well, first off, to meet the roadmap commitment, but also to perhaps even do something of a stealth launch, just kind of randomly one day just drop season 2. And so another on the development side update, we're kind of in the final stages with our website update. So we've gone outside of our team to kind of get a fresh set of eyes on design for a new website layout. I definitely like the direction that it went, and I think that it looks really good. We just have some small fundamental changes before we wire it up and ship it to the internet. So I'm hoping that we will see a change in terms of our website layout and structure sometime in the next week or two. So that's not necessarily a hard commitment, but I think that's totally doable and achievable. So once we do have the new website, obviously it'll just swap out and take the place of our current structure. A lot of the content that is currently on the page will remain, but the refreshed look and feel will be more relevant to a project that now has a game launched versus a project that was in a raising round. So keep your eyes open for that. That will be coming. And then in terms of some of the other suggestions around possible functionality for season 2 and beyond, just want to once again reaffirm to everybody that that your suggestions are heard. They're documented. We have them written down. The team does discuss those and catalogs those as ideas, or even uses little bits and pieces of that feedback to possibly modify a different approach in the future. Not necessarily, obviously, with season 2, as that's very much locked in the direction for that, but beyond. As we've stated so many times before, this is a platform that is constantly going to be evolving and changing and adapting to not only the needs of the community, but also to the the meta in the space and what people are interested in participating with, or more inclined to be a part of both community as well as an investor. So we are taking your feedback and keeping it. We're not just brushing it aside. So we wanted to again just let you know that, as well as to extend a thank you to those that take the time continuously to provide feedback, positive feedback in terms of suggestions and ideas and opportunities. So thank you again. So for the immediate future for Meme Kombat, obviously we have Hermes, who's been very steadfast in the community, helping to support you guys, working through the tickets, as well as supporting you guys in chats and making sure that everyone behaves to a certain degree. We now have Zeus, that's obviously still getting up to speed, but is quickly getting the lay of the land, as well as a couple of other resources that aren't so forward-facing, that are now comprising a team that are helping to really manage not only on the ticket side of things, but manage the opportunities that MK has, opportunities such as centralized exchange listings or collaborations with other outside partners or platforms. Up until just recently, I'd really kind of been handling a lot of that myself, with the assistance of Herms. But it's it's quite a bit, both on the development side as well as then on the community side to manage that. So I think that what we will see in the weeks to come is far more traction on a lot of these fronts, where admittedly some things have gotten past me. Some tickets have also gotten past me, much to Herm's attempt to refocus me and point me in directions that I need to. There's just simply just so many out there all the time, and it's just kind of ever growing. So it's been really difficult to keep up on. So now, long story short, have a nice team around me to help support that. And so I think that we will be better moving forward and into the future at being more responsive as well as being able to capitalize on some of these opportunities. So I think with that, that's about a 15-minute intro. So we will, Hermes, I'll kick it over to you and let you manage the flow. So where do you guys want to go from here?
So we'll start with the fact that everyone was panicking because Matt mentioned these things were going to be like 30 minutes. As you realize by now, 30 minutes is completely impossible for Matt because it'll take him like 10 minutes for each question. So do not panic. Because I'm already doing the calculations. Apparently, if we do 30 minutes, which will never happen, we all know that, it's going to be 24 hours during the full year. Right? That's the amount of time you're going to be using up on the AMAs. Okay, so it seems we don't have anyone that has a voice question. So while people gather out their courage, let's see what we got in the written ones. This was actually answered now. So there's a question that I occasionally see popping up, so it might be a good idea for us to cover it, which is the community is curious. Will for season 2 the fights, will they be fully animated?
Well, so I think that you guys are opening up the Pandora's box in terms of getting me on a long tangent here when we say fully animated. So right now, obviously, I think that we would maybe classify the current status of the game as partially animated in the sense that they just kind of jiggle back and forth a little bit. Fully animated in terms of responsiveness to what is happening in the game and the platform. I would say absolutely. There will be far more animation as well as association with gameplay and those animations be much more connected, as well as audio cues. We also have what I believe is a really interesting kind of lore music track that is going to be associated with Meme Kombat. I had every intention, I think, of infusing that with the current season 1 iteration of the platform. But as it turns out, from a development side, it seems to kind of make more sense to package everything up in season 2 at this point. Although we do anticipate releasing minor updates and changes, there is a pretty significant amount of things that we've essentially wrapped up that are just being included in the next build, so that we're not introducing anything foreign or something that needs to be tested and debugged or possibly cause any more sort of latent issues with the season 1 build. So long story short, yes, I would say that we could collectively classify season 2 as fully animated.
That was a short answer, by the way. Just for the ones that thought. Okay, so because a good AMA requires some nice accents, we're gonna have Time Bandit coming up because he's asking to request a question. So
Always good. I'm Bandit. What's
Y'all
up?
doing?
Hey, how's it going?
There we go.
It's going good here in Texas. I've got a question about season 2. It doesn't have anything to do with the game itself, but when you deploy it, what can we expect to see during the time you're switching from 1 to 2? I mean, is it going to have a at the MK website? Is it going to say under construction, or because you're going to have some time there, aren't you?
No, we won't. And so I'll give maybe just like a super generalized answer as to reason why. Essentially, season two takes all of the infrastructure, that foundation that we built for season one, and copies it, in whole. But then is being built on an entirely different instance, a totally different virtualized machine, as well as background database and services. It's completely separate. So think of it more as the flipping of a switch. Than having to stop one thing and start another. It there will be a brief period of time where both season one and season two services are running at the same time, and it'll just simply be connecting from one service to the next, which there may be kind of a little bit of a blip depending on where you're located in the world. But once we go live with season two, there won't be any sort of real latency baked in. Now, with that being said, there will be changes at the same time deployed to the website to kind of alert people to the fact that there will be that there's basically a new season. But the process itself should feel, from an end user perspective, very seamless.
Okay. Well, and also on the same subject, is the staking page and our account page going to look the same, or is it going to change also?
So the account page is going to change ever so slightly. And we may also be, we're kind of going back and forth on this. For symmetry purposes, I think that the future state of Meme Combat is going to adopt maybe some slightly different color palettes. And so color wise and texture wise, it may feel a little bit different, but in terms of navigation, and function and feel, season two on the accounts page will, I think, resemble the same. With that being said, there's just some additional data points that will be added to it. So it will feel maybe a little busier, a little bit more robust. But in terms of texture and feel, now, if you're completely colorblind and all you can see is black and white, you're probably not going to notice too much difference. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your answers, and y'all keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, Time Bandit.
We still like you, even if you're colorblind. It's just,
Yep.
Not as exciting as it could be. Okay, so we have no one wait. So let's go back to the written questions, which the problem with the written questions is Zeus answered already half of them. So I have to scroll through a largest amount of text before I find one that hasn't been answered. This is already the animation. There's a question about the AMAs actually, which is it possible for us to start having these AMAs on a specific day and a specific time instead of every week we have to announce the time? I'm not sure if you want to answer that one.
Yeah, so we discussed this question internally, I think more than once over the last few days, and I definitely understand the desire for that, and quite honestly, if I was in the shoes of everybody else, that's where my head would be at as well. At the present time, it's just very difficult for me to be able to commit personally to a specific day and time, just with all the other things that have going on. Now, with that being said, if the community was willing to accept, like for instance, that some AMAs may just have Zeus and Herms, and then I wouldn't be in attendance, then we could definitely lock in, and then obviously I would commit to make every effort I could to attend the AMA and help facilitate that. Should scheduling allow for that. Now, if everyone seemed to be okay with that, and we did a temperature check after this AMA, then we could absolutely lock that in. And I think that this particular time on this particular day, I think, is probably most advantageous. And I think that this one, like would probably work the best for me, selfishly. So yes, long story short, we can definitely explore and look to creating a standardized day and time for the community AMAs.
Okay. I like the part that I don't know if you guys noticed that the option is basically me and Matt and Zeus, or me and Zeus. So there's only one actor that is allowed to escape this thing, right?
I mean,
Okay,
maybe
so
maybe people would be happy to have a week without my long-winded answers. You never know.
well, we haven't tried this on audio yet, so we're not sure. Maybe they're as long as yours. Okay, so question about the roadmap. Will there be a detailed season 2 roadmap? And I'm going to be cheeky and glue with this question another question, which is there going to be an update to the website? Because I know that they're quite connected.
So, in terms of like detailed for season 2, I mean the roadmap, is pretty standard to most roadmaps, in the Web3 space, in that it's very high level. Updates specifically to season 2, other than the release of season 2, I guess it would be there. I mean, so the short answer is yes, that there are some small isolated changes to what the next roadmap on the next website will say, but it won't fundamentally change any of the milestones that are on there. So, like for instance, season 2 being released by the end of Q2 2024, that hasn't changed, but just some of the more succinct language around that has been slightly edited. I don't know if that's necessarily an answer or not, or the answer that the person had asked was looking for.
Don't worry, they'll let me know after the AMA when I start getting into things. I know what's happened. It's when you run away and you leave me with them. Behave, boys and girls. Any sneak peeks for the new website? Any plans for sneak peeks?
Let me see if I can grab a sneak peek and share it after the AMA. I don't think there would be any reason why I couldn't. I have it currently. I have a design file in Figma, so it's not any sort of like a responsive framed out version yet. So it's just now recently getting past the approval stage. With that being said, there's still some small minor edits that we wanted to have changed. So, but I could probably grab a section of it that would, I think, give everybody an idea of what the look and feel is. For those of you that have experience like with web design, some of the things that, and this is something that prior to the first season being launched, that we're also working around, which is the people who design the websites aren't the ones that are doing the like the localization or the text on the actual site itself. They're just kind of in some respects putting dummy text in there, so it's really tricky sharing any thing off of a design file because people will inevitably take that as this is a final finished product that's posted somewhere, and that's just very much not the case. Once the actual website is built and deployed, it would have the correct text that meets the project parameters. But on a design side, it could, in some spots, it might even say like that lorem ipsum, just that stationary dummy text that is used strictly just for design purposes. But it would give you a look and feel in terms of like this is the color, this is kind of like the general layout. So let me see if I can curate a sneak peek for everybody.
I mean, Matt might look a bit more muscular on the stock photo that he has there to fill up the hole for his photo. The usual stuff. Okay, so we actually have someone. We have Humble. There we go. We have Humble to come up. Is he coming? Yeah, there he is. Just need to unmute your mic, and you should be good to go, Humble.
There we go. How's that going?
There we go. Perfect.
Okay, so that's my sound for me all over the place. So that's really exciting that we might get to see something coming up there, guys. I guess I'm speaking for the community here, both both in Discord and sort of fractured across Telegram at the moment, around bringing some of our actions to align with your future plans. So kind of a Q2 release, possibly a drop at some point. Before that, thinking about advertising, what how you're planning to put this out to the world, and what we're putting out, I guess, so that it times and builds the excitement with you, which kind of engages the community and builds that kind of cohesiveness that we're looking for. You've got some great guys sitting in the raiding rooms, in the meme rooms, in various different groups, the DGens, and then we're all trying to do a little bit. And keep this going, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of two-way communication going on here. Hoping that some of that breaks down with you in the picture now, Zeus, and hopefully, I think the idea of a weekly check-in, hopefully for more than half an hour, even if that means that Matt isn't there, sounds like a pretty good thing to me.
Yeah. And I think that you really kind of touched on the whole concept of expanding this this core team from a community side, is that it's just quite a bit for one person, especially in my other aspects of the project that I'm involved in, having to just kind of shoulder all of that individually, isn't super effective. But I think that, like you had mentioned, Zeus and Herms, as well as the number of other core individuals internally that are now helping to support these efforts, I think that absolutely, we could develop some sort of a soundboard and begin to activate, resources within the community that want to step up and really help move this project forward in all areas. And I know that some work has been done on that front, at least from a planning stage. And I would probably defer to Herms and Zeus to speak about that if they're in a position to do so. Not to say that they are, but that's very much been the intent and the focus the last week and a half or so since Zeus has come on board and started to get up to speed. To begin and start leveraging some of those community resources to help move the project forward. So I don't know, guys, if you are in a position quite yet to speak on any of that, or if we want to obviously give you guys more of a heads up about discussing it. But
I'll let Zeus start, and then I'll compliment, because you guys are really fed up of hearing my voice every week, and me barely ever heard Zeus so far. So, yours.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you, Humble. Definitely plan on aligning all of the actions that you're doing, Humble, and the community and all these passionate people. So that's what drives a project. It's literally all about energy, right? So within crypto, you see meme coin after meme coin. How do they reach these market caps they reach, right? It's all around excitement, energy, hype, coordinated efforts between the community and the team behind the scenes. How do you tell the story? How do you create the upside potential, right, to people on the outside looking in? Where's this going? What's the vision? Where, how are we getting there? And all of those things coordinated together. So I see everything you're putting out, a lot of other amazing members, a lot of big chats to happen with Matt in the following days. And obviously, as you guys know and see, that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Me and Herms mixed with you, Humble, and I think there's a couple others, Pag, and I've seen a lot of people that are very eager to be involved, and definitely want to create outlets that we can all be aligned and moving in the direction that'll help us, be as successful as possible. And how that looks, how we can align on, what art can, be created and used. How can we tell the story? How can we the lore, right? I've been in parts of projects that literally had no utility, and we just time after time again wave past all-time highs based on excitement and hype generated around storytelling, around lore, around art. It's all about energy and coordinating all the passion within these outlets. So definitely, let's do it.
That'd be great. I mean, I guess then the question is, what does that look like as a deliverable? How do we do that? The what, the when, and the how, rather than the why and what we're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, so I think what we should do, and I'll talk with Herms, let's create some kind of a team group in here for now. I still need to talk with Matt a little bit around, potentially, Telegram, and if we could do that successfully. I wasn't a part of that. I didn't see all the different aspects of how much time and, negative waves of energy came about from it. But within here in Discord, we can create a channel. I'm gonna talk with Herms, and, let's form a little team. We can have different sub teams, right? So everyone has different skills, different passions, right? Whether it's art, whether it's, maybe we create a group for writing up storytelling. But we gotta find a plan around how we are all efficient, right? So we'll have like one group here, and maybe like the planning division, of all the different aspects that can break off little subgroups of people that maybe are excited about a certain aspect, and then just coordinate how we get that out, right? So the different, influential places, obviously Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, as we're building this YouTube channel, that's a huge one as well. And you just never know, as Matt said, when the spark is going to get lit. It's amazing within this realm that within the blink of an eye, the right person sees something, they like the energy, they like what they're seeing, they dive in, do their own research, and before you know it, a catalyst is lit. But yeah, so let's form a group. I'm going to talk with Herms and Matt, and then Winnie's been talking with him a lot as well. And let's get a group set, and then from there we'll break apart, different groups to all coordinate together.
Yeah, appreciate
That
that.
sounds absolutely brilliant. And then if we're meeting here once a week generally, and lots of other people are joining us, and you three guys are at the top, or two of you, that gives that opportunity to then kind of keep rolling, keep touching base, and all joining together. Thanks for that, guys. I'm going to drop out of the chat part now. Thank you.
Thanks, Humble.
Okay, man. Just to complement what Zeus already mentioned, as you guys probably been seeing, we have been actively working on improving not just the Discord, but also other platforms that actually allow you guys to participate more, not just be someone that's observing it. So one of the things you guys asked last week was for the YouTube channel. Same day the YouTube channel showed up. Initially, the YouTube channel was not a YouTube channel; it was just a place for me to pop in these recordings, because they're rather large in terms of size, and I know not everyone has a very fast internet, so YouTube actually allows it to be much easier. But because you asked for the YouTube channel, we immediately made an official YouTube channel, not just to have the information available to you guys, but also to fight a bit of the FUD that was going on with some let's put less friendly channels with not very correct information. We have the feedback channel here on Discord that sometimes we don't react to all the posts, but we do read them all, and some of the requests are actually being implemented. For the ones that missed it, if you go to the official links, there is actually a link to some resources for you guys to use, which are official resources in terms of images and logos that you are free to use in any creations that you decide to do. We opened the fan art channel because we realized that many of you, especially Humble, and we all know that he enjoys doing his little creations, to have a place where you guys can share your stuff and you can reuse anything that's there. I'm pretty sure that anyone that puts anything on a fan art does not mind that you guys reuse it in your posts, in your raids, in your comments. So feel free to use anything like that. And as is mentioned, this is a continuous work. We never know what's going to happen that will make the price go higher. We are continuously studying other projects that are working in to see what they are doing and seeing how we can replicate it or even improve what they did.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, the TLDR on all of that, the basis of Humble's question, and then what Zeus and Herms has just shared is that we're working on that aspect of the project day in, day out, making small incremental changes and improvements, as well as listening to feedback and implementing those that make sense. So please continue to provide feedback, provide ideas, ask for things. Not to say that we will implement every single suggestion or meet every single request, but we are listening, we are taking notice, and we'll continue to do as much as we can within the realm of possibility each and every day.
All right, so I'm guessing this is probably going to be the last question because we're already at 40 minutes. I told you we couldn't do this in 30 minutes. There's no way.
It goes so fast.
I guess it goes so fast, exactly. So this is the last question, literally on the list. That there's I don't have anything else that we haven't covered yet but this actually came out during now this call. Some of you mentioned this, but I think Luca Mill actually put it the best, which is so Matt now mentions there's a possibility of a stealth launch for V2. Until now, we've been talking about large marketing around it, huge boom, etc. Stealth is a completely different approach. What has changed since then?
So, I mean, I think that it's not necessarily an entirely different approach. You can quite easily market season two. That season two is coming. That even highlight some of the changes in the improvements. My remarks around stealth launch was more or less around specifically stating the date, which those that have been in the project for quite some time would agree. And it has been unfortunate that sometimes that we have indicated solid dates that something will happen, and then at the last minute, either because of unforeseen technical challenges or other reasons, that date had come and gone, which causes immense frustration as well as a tremendous amount of work on the part of those that help manage and support our communities. Probably none more so than what was felt in Telegram. When I say stealth launch, it's more in reference to not indicating a specific date for season two dropping. It's basically like season two is coming. Be on the lookout. Things like that. So marketing and promotion can still happen, and it absolutely will. But in terms of the actual drop date, it could basically be one of those things that it essentially goes live at any moment. And I reserve the right to call a different protocol for this. The closer that we get, it very well could be that it's completely ready, thoroughly tested, and ready to deploy on a Monday, and then we decide that we're going to launch on a Thursday, and then we make that announcement and we start pushing that content. It could go either way. Right now, though, my inclination is to kind of keep it more stealthy in terms of the actual drop date for season two. And that was probably 10 times longer than it needed to be, but it is what it is.
Don't worry, I'll just speed up the answer. And
Yeah.
I'm joking. It would kill me if I do that. Now, quick question, because we do the subtitles on YouTube. That's the other reason why we put it on YouTube as well, is YouTube automatically does the closed caption, the subtitles. And after that, for those that don't speak English, we do try our best to enunciate our words precisely because of that. Then after that, you can change it to whatever language you prefer, and you can read the subtitles. Unfortunately, in terms of communication, we have to do this in English. It's the basic language that both Zeus and Matt can communicate, and then all the chat is also done in English. But we do consider the other languages, and that's the reason why we do have also language channels here on Discord. Okay, I don't see any. Me saying I enunciate words and then I stumble. I don't see any other questions, so I think we are done for today. So I'm
Great.
not sure if you want to close off the place, and after that I'll do the raffles for both the Zealy and the Telegram NFT that we still have hanging.
Yep. Sounds great.
Of course.
Thank you all for joining today. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, no, someone popped their hand, but in the meantime, they backed away, so I'm guessing someone accidentally pressed the button.
Well, thank you all for joining today. Zeus, thank you for joining and introducing yourself successfully this week. And we will see you all in the chat and look forward to connecting with everybody again, hopefully this same time next week.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you guys, rock. Let's have an amazing day. I hope you guys all are able to spend some time with loved ones, and let's keep rocking this. And Humble, yeah, I'm gonna talk with Hermes and Matt in the background, and we'll get some kind of action plan around forming different group subsets so we can all be aligned and blast out our energy in this ethoverse. Let's get it.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much. And we'll proceed to the first. We'll start with the Zealy one. So the way we're going to do it is, for those that didn't notice, we have the Zealy sprint. Out of the top 100, we're going to select 2 random ones. The way to do this is completely random, so I have no idea who is who. I'm just going to draw out 2 numbers. We do have a list with the numbers, and I'm going to show it to you. And it's also available on the community announcements. So let's see who is going to win the 300 MK tokens. So first number is going to be 73. So number 73 is Marcel888. I'll ping you afterwards, but it's on video now, so there's no way I can change this. And the second winner is number 71, apparently. For those who have wondered, this is literally just the Google random number generator. You can look it up for yourself as well. It's the same thing. So number 71 is Lattes. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not sure. I probably am killing the name. So I do apologize about that. So congratulations to the winners. I'll ping you in a second. And for the Telegram, so for clarity, these were selected by the team and with the assistance of some very active members there. We asked them to anonymously vote on members on the now closed Telegram who they thought were very active and were very positive towards the project, in the same way that we did it on Discord a few weeks ago. It should have been 5, but the problem is we actually had a draw in terms of people that got nominated. So we had 2 people that had exactly the same amount of votes for the 5th place. So we ended up having 6 names here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel, and whoever comes up will win a free NFT. And there we go. Mr. Don Corleone. You have just won an NFT. So same thing as with the other ones. Just open up. Oh, he's even in the audience, so he's probably partying now. Just open up a ticket and drop us your address, and we'll drop you an NFT as soon as possible. And that's pretty much it, folks. Have fun and see you next week, or see you in the chat.